Thank you, Randy. This is the part at the end in the afternoon where the coffee's wearing off, so I will channel Katie's energy. I'm wanting your energy to come my way. As Randy said, I'm Irving Washington. I'm Director of Operations for the Online News Association. And on behalf of our Executive Director, Jane McDonald, our board and staff, I want to thank RJI and the University of Missouri for hosting this event. It's really inspiring to hear these projects and hear the great work that's going on. So as you know, or you may know, we did this little project last year with a couple of funders you may have heard of, the Democracy Fund, the Ethics and Excellence in Journalism Foundation, the Knight Foundation, the McCormick Foundation, and the Rita Allen Foundation to launch the Challenge Fund for Innovation in Journalism Education. The goal was to hack a J-School curriculum with $1 million challenge fund. ONA is the largest association of digital journalists, and we have continuously growing membership of educators and innovators. As we are well into our first year of administrating this program, there were things that we knew or thought we knew. There are things that we learned and are learning, and there are things that continue to give us hope about innovation within journalism education. Our intent was to hack the journalism curriculum using customized versions of the teaching hospital model. These small microgrants were strategically designed to spur innovation within J schools across the country. For those of you that know Eric, which I'm sure many of you do, he often provides various wisdoms of nuggets. And one of the ones that he often says is, there's a big difference between innovation and invention. Sometimes just a simple change can be truly innovative. So what did we know going into this before? ONA was no stranger to the digital journalism community. Hundreds of our educators collaborate on Facebook. Several more are organizational leaders, and even more attend our conference to find out and actually lead sessions on the latest trends in our industry. We knew the need for the grant was there, and we also thought we knew just how much, but we were wrong. We estimated receiving 40 to 50 applications for our inaugural year. We received 125. We were wrong. We were concerned about how diverse the applicant pool would be. We ended up receiving applications from schools across the country, programs of all sizes. We were wrong. We thought about the type of innovation that we were looking for would actually make the final selection process fairly easy. Ultimately, we received so many great applicants that we awarded 2 more additional than what we originally planned. So we awarded 12 instead of 10, and we still even had a hard time with that because we made 13 honorable mentions. Again, we were wrong. For once in my life, I was actually glad to be wrong. It showed that there was a great need for this program out there. During the course of the application, countless educators came to me and said, just the process of applying for this, the collaboration with other departments, the collaboration with other media organizations, they will continue this program whether or not they receive the grant. 125 applications later, we did have the pleasure of announcing our 12 winners. And these are colleges and universities that each earned $35,000 for microgrants to test out ideas that will make use of collaborative power and technology to make a difference. They'll then research and evaluate these to see if they can take root in their schools, local communities, and their media partners. So what have we learned or learning? So far, the groups are just getting started. They're just 6 months in, but it's clear and evident that we're learning that journalism schools can and are leading innovation within their communities. And they're doing things that schools can replicate. For those that are watching live streaming, here are some things that we're learning. They're uncovering underreported topics in their communities. This presentation is actually really hard because there's 12 really great projects, so I want to highlight this is just only touching the surface of some of the things that they're doing. You can find more information on our website at journalist.org. But many of our grantees are leading the way reporting specific issues. At Arizona State University, News 21 reporters, videographers, and photojournalists are traveling across the country to assess the state of the gun debate. And this is providing solid data and stories for news organizations across the country. Journalism and geology students at San Diego State University are partnering with nonprofit news organization iNewsSource to experiment with electronic sensors to test air quality in San Diego. This is helping to make a better informed public about air pollution. And from air to music, Texas State University is testing out the idea that journalism about music can break out of routine story forms, uncover unheard voices and untold tales. And this will be more useful to the Central Texas community. These specific niche topics would not be possible without the innovation that's happening in these schools. The other thing that they're doing, and you've heard this often, they're endlessly collaborating. Collaboration is key. One of our biggest collaborations with Georgia State University, Morehouse College, Clark Atlanta University, University of Georgia, and their media partners at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and WSB-TV are all working together to form the Georgia News Lab. And these students are immersed in real-time investigative reporting that's being published with the media partners. The University of Wisconsin-Madison, our very own Katie Culver, she's leading a statewide investigative collaborative, including the Wisconsin Center for Investigative Journalism that includes citizens' water monitoring to increase the impact of water quality and supply stories. In addition to that, and you've heard this again, they're engaging with their communities. One of the projects that Katie mentioned earlier with the CUNY Graduate School of Journalism, they've teamed up with the New York Daily News to use high and low-tech approaches to crowdsourcing to New Yorkers who are not necessarily hyper-connected to news. They are addressing the problem with mold within the community. And the picture behind me shows one of the citizens that are impacted by the mold in her apartment. Very own University of Missouri and RJI, they're testing the concept of using social media conversations to reinvent television public affairs programming with their very own town square. While you're engaging the community, they're also changing the conversation. The University of Illinois is partnering with citizenaccess.org to openly map a city's often invisible social media conversation to see if they can change the nature of that conversation. At the University of Oklahoma, students are using mobile video, real-time data, and a partnership with Oklahoma Watch to experiment with the idea that creating a conversation in Oklahoma City between residents of low-income neighborhoods and area leaders will change that conversation in the community. And also our Florida International University project, which is taking off by leaps and bounds, is truly changing the conversation about sea level rise in that community. They've been featured on the Washington Post, Today Show, and many more. And lastly, again, another repeated theme that you're hearing here, they're building to iterate. San Francisco State University is building a mobile news and web-based organizing tool to improve student reporting. And the University of New Mexico is starting Newsport, which is the first of its kind in that area, and they're working on their own student-powered publishing platform. Again, the key is that they're learning as they're going through the process, and they're building to iterate. We've been amazed by the current work of our grantees, and we're looking forward, with just the short 6 months they had so far, we're looking forward to see the more work that they do. In the meantime, we'll be opening up the call for the applications in the next few weeks on journalist.org, and we hope to find even more green shoots in journalism education, as we're calling it at this event. We're looking for true focused experiments. A cool idea with nothing behind it is not an experiment. Trying a lot of things and seeing what happens is an experiment. Doing what you already do isn't an experiment. We're looking for experiments that disrupt the idea of things as they were and embraces of what can be. What you have heard today here and what you'll continue to hear are journalism institutions shaping the future of the field. And the Challenge Fund funders and ONA are looking forward to continuing spurring that innovation. Thank you.